Did you know that humans have been doing math for over 30,000 years? And what's even crazier is that some of the earliest known math discoveries were made by the Babylonians, an ancient civilization in Mesopotamia. They were so advanced that they could perform complex calculations like finding the area of a circle and solving quadratic equations. But you're not here to learn about the Babylonians, are you? You're here to learn about the history of math from the beginning until now. So let's get started. The Babylonians weren't the only ones doing complex math. The ancient Egyptians were also doing some pretty impressive stuff. They used geometry to figure out the area of a triangle, and they developed a system of numbers that allowed them to keep track of large quantities. We don't know exactly how they did it, but they must have been pretty good at math, because they built some pretty amazing things. Like the pyramids, it would take a lot of math to figure out how to make a giant pyramid out of giant rocks. Meanwhile, across the world in India, another ancient civilization was making some pretty impressive strides in mathematics. Indian mathematicians developed the concept of zero, and they also developed a system of numerals that was much easier to work with than the Roman numerals used in Europe at the time. They also figured out how to do things like calculate the value of pi and solve cubic equations. That's right, cubic equations. These guys were geniuses. But wait, there's more. In China, mathematicians were also making impressive discoveries. They developed the first mechanical calculator, and they figured out how to do things like calculate the area of a trapezoid and solve systems of linear equations. Basically, these guys were doing everything that we do in algebra too. So you might be wondering, if these ancient civilizations were so good at math, why don't we use their math today? Well, it turns out that most of the math we use today is actually a combination of all of these different mathematical systems. For example, our system of numerals is based on the Indian system, and our rules for performing arithmetic are based on the Babylonian and Egyptian systems. And we even use some of the geometric formulas developed by the Chinese. So, even though we don't use any of these mathematical systems in their entirety, we do use parts of them. But why did these ancient civilizations develop these advanced mathematical concepts in the first place? Well, it turns out that they needed math for pretty much the same reasons we do today. For example, the Babylonians kept track of time by observing the positions of the planets in the sky. And they used this knowledge to develop a calendar. They also used math to keep track of their finances, since they had a pretty robust system of trade going on. And finally, they used math to help them build things like temples and other structures. Ancient Egyptians needed math for all the same reasons. Plus, they had this whole pyramid thing going on. Like I mentioned earlier, it would take a lot of math to figure out how to construct a pyramid. But the Egyptians weren't the only ones building impressive structures. The ancient Greeks were also building some pretty amazing things, and they used math to help them out. For example, they used math to figure out the best way to design a dome, or to calculate the amount of material needed to build a temple. And then there were the Romans, who were as advanced in mathematics as some of the other ancient civilizations. But they did have a pretty impressive road building program, and they used math to figure out how to build roads that could withstand the weight of chariots and armies. As the centuries passed, mathematics continued to be used for practical purposes like building and engineering. But it also became more of an academic discipline. During the Middle Ages, Muslim scholars made some important contributions to mathematics, including the development of algebra and trigonometry. They also developed a more accurate system of numerals, which eventually replaced the Roman numeral system. During the Renaissance, mathematicians began to explore more abstract concepts, and they also began to use math to model and describe the physical world. This led to the development of calculus, one of the most important branches of mathematics. Calculus was developed independently by Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in the late 17th century, and it provided a way to study continuous change, which is something that previous mathematicians have really dealt with before. Calculus was a huge leap forward for mathematics, and it quickly found applications in physics, engineering, and other sciences. It's used to describe things like motion, gravity, and the behavior of fluids. But calculus wasn't the only important development in mathematics during this period. Probability theory was also developed, and this led to the development of statistics, which is used to collect, analyze, and interpret data. In the 19th century, mathematicians began to study infinite sets of numbers, and this led to the development of some of the most mind-bending areas of mathematics, like set theory and the theory of infinite series. George Cantor, one of the most important mathematicians of the 20th century, once said, "The infinite is just what has been left out of the finite." This kind of abstract mathematics may not have had immediate applications in the real world, but it pushed the boundaries of human knowledge and understanding, and it laid the foundation for many of the advances in mathematics that came later. For example, set theory turned out to be a very useful tool for logic, and the theory of infinite series is used in many areas of mathematics, including calculus and differential equations. In the 20th century, mathematics continued to grow in importance in new areas of mathematics, like computer science and mathematical biology emerged. Mathematics became increasingly important in fields like physics and engineering as scientists developed new theories and technologies. For example, Einstein's theories of relativity and quantum mechanics both require advanced mathematical tools that were developed in the early 20th century. Today, mathematics is used in virtually every field, and it's one of the most important subjects taught in schools. It's used in everything from building bridges to designing video games, and it's one of the most important skills you can have in the modern world. Whether you're a student trying to get good grades or a professional trying to solve real-world problems, having strong math skills will help you succeed. If you want to improve your math skills, then you should consider using an online learning platform with thousands of lessons covering everything from basic arithmetic to advanced calculus. There's something for everyone on this platform, and the best part is that it's all free. And now for the really cool part, you can actually use this platform to earn money. Yes, you heard that right. You can make money by doing math. Here's how it works. All you need to do is answer a few questions about your math skills and you'll be matched with offers that fit your skill level. Then you'll be paid cash via PayPal or Amazon gift cards. It's a great way to make some extra cash. And it's a fun way to test your math skills. So go ahead and check it out. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably not a millionaire, so why bother learning about money? But trust me, financial education is important for everyone, whether you're rich or poor. And the best part is that it doesn't have to be boring. It's a fun and interactive way to learn about personal finance and investing, and it's completely free. With Elevist, you'll learn how to manage your money, save for retirement, and invest in the stock market. Plus, you'll gain access to a community of other learners who are just as excited about financial education as you are. So sign up today and start learning about money the easy and fun way. I'm sure you learned a lot in this video, but there's still so much more to learn. Don't let your education end here. Keep exploring the world around you and never stop learning. Thanks for watching.